I think I need to remove my QI, but okay, let's start with this. Here you go. My name is Falak Mahmood, and I work for CGI Group. It's a Canadian group, and I'm based in Sweden. And I've been working with SharePoint since 2007, version, and right now working as a SharePoint architect in CGI Group. So here's my little introduction. Working there as a CGI SharePoint architect. I'm quite active in the SharePoint community, SharePoint Stack Exchange, Codeplex, TechNet galleries, and all this stuff. And I'm also talking in the Sweden's local community about SharePoint. So my interest lies in the system development, configuration, and system architecture. So this is here I live, near the lake. Sounds fascinating. We often used to see a lot of snow in Sweden, but right now it's really sunny in Sweden, so that's really cool. It's a great weather here too. So, how many have you seen Eurovision actually? Have you seen that? Yes. Yeah, I was really impressed by this giant, but unfortunately that didn't earn Ukraine a place, maybe. But that was good. I think that was a great performance by the Ukrainian lady. So agenda. Today I'm going to talk about managed metadata. The agenda here is quite, we really have short time, actually 40 minutes. So I want to skip something that is not really important to this session. But I would like to squeeze in all the things that I have today. So right now, my focus will be much to present you and have less in the theory, So let's start with that. So managed metadata, I will define some of the terminologies that have been scary for some of the developers in the region. So, and then I take a scenario, sample example, a company that would like to implement the managed metadata. I will talk about little bit about operations of managed metadata, what's new in 2013, managed navigation, content type, and cross-site publishing and the product catalogs, a little bit about that. So what's new in managed metadata? That's the question that we need to ask. In the managed metadata in 2010, this was introduced in SharePoint 2010. The purpose of managed metadata in 2010 version was to introduce lifecycle management to the data or to the content. But in 2013 version, this has been gone way far behind. You can drive navigation with your managed metadata. You can do a lot of extended search with your managed metadata. You can do a lot more in 2013 with your managed metadata. So I will talk about that. Not sure if that works. Yeah. So what is metadata? This is a simple definition. It's according to Wiki's definition. It's about data. That's the formal definition. But in terms of SharePoint, managed metadata is to tag your documents or tag your pages or tag the SharePoint artifacts with the metadata and classify them in the form of what you say, in the form of the formal taxonomies or in a hierarchical way. So that's called managed metadata in SharePoint 2013. I would like to talk a little bit about terminologies, content types, site columns that have been introduced in Office SharePoint Server MOS 2007, and taxonomies, term store, term set, tagging, and the terms have been introduced in SharePoint 2010 and SharePoint 2013. It has been improved a lot. So just a little bit about taxonomy. What is a taxonomy like? When we talk about the managed metadata service application, it is very important to understand these concepts. And taxonomy is actually a set of terms and the tags that we are using in the managed metadata. We call them taxonomy. Term store is a database that houses those taxonomies. So imagine like you have a company here. I would like to talk about a little bit about scenario, where I defined a company and that is interested in like implementing the managed metadata. So they are going to have that a term store and term set, and they will tag their documents. The term set is a collection of related terms. I will let you know a little bit in the next slide, I think. And the term is actually an element of taxonomy, and you can tag the documents. So let's talk about a scenario where I will tell you how you define these elements, in the form of managed metadata. Contoso Electronics is a company that has different retailer stores, and it wants to implement, SharePoint 2013 managed metadata. And they have SharePoint Enterprise license, and they just want to tag information and perform search, and also they have different products, and they want to use SharePoint 2013 for product catalogs as well. So they sell different products, and they want product catalogs as well, and also they want to use for collaboration as well, team collaboration as well. So what is a common challenge here? The common challenge here is that search is a challenge in SharePoint. For example, gone are the days when you upload some document, or when a content editor or a content editor is uploading a document and it doesn't tag a document, then it's going to be a real problem for SharePoint to find that document. So the problem here is that we want search to be precise and give us relevant result with the help of managed metadata, and we want to enforce the content editors to tag their information with managed metadata. We want to avoid the situation. Folder structure is messy to deal with. We don't want our document libraries to have folders, folder 1, for example, folder for marketing team, folder for sales team, folder for purchase team, because that will not help SharePoint in order to get the effective search. So if you implement all these negative things, then you end up having your SharePoint collaboration portal being in a situation where you are in chaos. So here's the information architecture that Contoso Electronics is basing upon, actually. So we have defined the taxonomy here. So this is whole called taxonomy. Taxonomy for Contoso Electronics, for example, you have on the top you have electronics. We call it term set. And term store is basically a container that will host all these taxonomies. And then you have the term set being electronics, and then you have the relative terms. You can see the audio is a term, computer accessory is a term, and then you have the laptops term, and then you have the terms with a terms. Laptop have Apple or Lenovo, and then you have monitors and all this kind of stuff. So we define information architecture for Contoso Electronics. So I'm going to quickly show you a demonstration on that. But before doing that, using taxonomies will enable us to give the consistent and precise results and improve the relevant searches within the SharePoint. It will help collaboration. Our colleagues can find the documents, very effectively. And it will improve navigation. I will come to that part later on. So I can switch to the computer and I can show you. So here you can see, for example, this is a content type, and name, title, and this is the term being associated with this document. So I can show you in a demonstration. Okay, what's wrong? technical hiccup. Oh, usual. You know, interesting thing is like 80% of the demonstrations have been failed. So no surprises, you know. Well, wiki. That's the worst time for my VM to get failed, you know. Just when I wanted to show something to the audience. Okay. Task manager. I cannot kill, you know, VMware processes because that will be chaos. Okay, that works. This is the domain controller, or maybe. Okay. That's very strange. Yeah? Maybe a restart. Yeah, that's fine, I think. I can do that.
Windows side is the solution.
Yeah. That could be a good thing. Just restarting it. Okay, there you go. This one. They already started? That's strange. That's SharePoint for you. You know, SharePoint 2030 is just 2013 is just resource machine. You know, resource hungry machine. So it eats up all the resources. Come on. We really have short time left, so I think I will switch to only demonstrations. Wiki. Oh, there you go. Finally. Okay, so let's talk about that quickly now. I will just run through everything. So this is here, for example, this is a document library that we have. Before showing you the stuff with this one, I would like to show you how does it look here in the term store management, you know. This site collection is a sample site collection, and it has a term store, you know, so this is what I was talking about. So this is a taxonomy, this is a whole taxonomy, and this is a group within taxonomy. For example, this is, I'm using for example, this one. Yeah, so you see here, this is a term set for Contoso's electronics, and I have the audio, computer accessories, laptops, monitors, scanners, tablets, so that they can upload their documents, so they can tag their documents according to this taxonomy. So what we have here is that, for example, I create a document library here, this one. I call it Contoso Documents. I have attached the managed metadata to it. It's a custom managed metadata, and this custom managed metadata, I can show you here a little bit. There you go. This is a custom content type, SP document Ukraine, and I have attached this managed metadata column to it. I call it document category. Can everybody see that? Everybody sees it? Okay. And if we see this document category column, so that is connected to the actually this one, Manage Metadata Service. You can see here it's connected to the electronic term set. Okay? So what happens is when somebody tags a document or somebody uploads a document here, for example, if someone uploads a document here, desktop, for example, I'm uploading a document here. So here, that content types exist. Within this content type, I added this column. So you can select which tag is to be used, you know, for this document. For example, I select headphones, I click save, that's okay. So you got this applied here. So that will help in the search and also in, you know, later on in refinements panel, you can use that. But right now, this is the very basic stuff that has been introduced in SharePoint 2010. So I will talk about now in the SharePoint 2013 new features here. You know, one very cool feature is that you can pin, you can reuse. You know, these are the normal taxonomy operations. For example, you can create a term here. You know, you can create a new term here. For example, mobiles here. And you know, you have one new feature here that is called intended use. You can use this term set as for tagging. You know, this is a new SharePoint 2013 product for you. Available for tagging, you can tag it in the documents. For the moment, you know, I'm only using this taxonomy for tagging. You know, you can also use it for the site navigation. For the whole site navigation, you can use that. And you can use this term set for facilitated navigation. That means that it will enhance the search results actually. So this is intended use. You can custom sort it, you know, in which order. You have the other custom properties, you know. Custom property with the taxonomy means like you can add, for example, if you want to do a customization, you can add some property with this term set. So that will help during the programming or customization to get that property. It's like a property bag, you know. So translation, this is a very cool feature. You know, now in the 2010 versions, you can only translate this term set with the help of language pack. But right now in 2013, you don't even have to do that. You don't even have to install a language pack just for your term set translation. You can use the machine translate service, and you have some other options as well. For example, if I want to use machine translation service, but before doing that, for example, I need to add the working languages here. Like there's a Russian language pack that I installed, but I don't want to use that actually. So I want to use a new feature for SharePoint 2013. So I select here the other locales. You can see here other locales. I will select Ukraine. So I add it here. I press save here. So support for Ukrainian language has been added. And when I come here, I say translate this term set for Ukrainian language. I select the machine translation service. For this to be configured, you have to be connected to the internet. So I'll press OK, continue here. Now I will be given the options, translate all terms or translate updated terms. So you can select between multiple options. I will say that translate from English to Ukrainian and press OK. And let's see how much time it will take. It depends upon your internet connection. But I think it's fair enough that I think we have a good connection. Oh, there you go. It's quite fast. So now I refresh it here, you know, Ukrainian. There you go. Is it? It works? So I'm not sure. I'm not, you know, it's Microsoft translation, so you have to live with it. It's not my fault. It's wrong. No, but, you know, well, it's a cool feature. You can use that, or you can either use the language packs, okay? So this is, having said that, you can use different features. And for example, let me switch back to English so that I can understand and present it for you. Here I talk about, you know, there is a new feature called reuse and pinning a term. You have a set of different features here. Between taxonomy, you can create a term, you can copy a term, you can copy term with children's, of course. You can reuse a term and you can pin the term. What is the difference between pinning a term and reusing a term? I would take a simple example to explain you that. For example, we have in the tablets, we have a tablet term, and we have within the tablets we have Apple as a vendor, and we want to reuse Apple term in mobile broadband products because these are the products that can also use mobile broadband. For example, iPad 3, iPad mini, they all use, they can use the mobile broadband. So what I do here is that I go to the mobile broadband products that is existing in a different term set. I say I want to reuse this Apple demo electronics. I select Apple here. Now I can use Apple in both term sets, but the problem here is that you can change Apple here. When you reuse a term here, you can change it Apple Incorporation. So that change will reflect it in the both places here. You can see here, that is also changed here. But when you pin the term here, when you pin the term and reuse the term, then that will make it read-only. So I can show you with the read-only as well. Delete a term, for example. I say pin term with the children, electronics, tablets, Apple, there you go. So now you can see here, it cannot be changed here, it can only be referenced here, it can only be reused here, but you cannot change it. So that is one thing. This is a new feature, term pinning versus reuse. I move to the next step and show you a little bit about so talked about these, some more features here, so intended use, I talked about that. You can use your taxonomies for navigation, for tagging, for faceted navigation for the results. You have the multilingual support here, UI support, pin versus reuse. I talked about that as well. And you have one more cool feature, that is the data view editing support. So that means that when data view editing support was not added in 2010, it's added in actually 2013. I can show you here, maybe we don't find that, but okay, I can go here. I created a view that is called demo datasheet view. You can go here into the list and you can add here, you can see here, you can change that iPad mini, you can even update that to, so that's the datasheet view for you. You can edit the taxonomies in datasheet view. So you can save it here, for example, it's saved now. That is one thing. And also new feature is that term can be shared between the site collections. Thank you. That's a pinning versus reuse for you, I will talk about term store management. I talk about that a little bit. So navigation challenges. So let's talk about a little bit about managed metadata and how it influenced the navigation for you. So what were the challenges for the navigation in 2010? The problem was that you have to configure navigation for each site. So that was the main problem. And when you create a page, then it sticks to that site and the navigation appears according to your site structure here. But here, and also some of the other downsides were like URL with the spaces, pages with the query string, and then you have the buried pages. For example, if a page is buried somewhere under level 5 or level 6, then you really have problems for the search engine to find that page actually. And then it doesn't get ranked correctly, and then you will not see the content. So there was a tight coupling between the page location and the site structure and their URL. So that was the problem here. And managed navigation, how effective is that in order to overcome this problem? So what happens here is that you drive the site navigation with the help of managed metadata in 2013 version. You know, a term can point to pages, a term can point to the catalog items or different URLs here. So what here is, the point here that I want to make is that you can drive your whole site collections navigation with the help of managed metadata. Let me show you how. Wrong VM. There you go. Manage navigation. So here, if you go into the site navigation, and if you go, this is a site collection, sample site collection, and you have option here that is called navigation. You go to the navigation and then you select that. I want to use global navigation. I want to use managed navigation with the global navigation. You can select that. You know, all this global navigation is connected right now with the managed navigation now. And the current is your quick launch navigation in 2010, you know. So that is now called current navigation. Your current navigation is also connected with the managed navigation here. You know, in the managed navigation, I define the term set here. For example, this is our proposed term set. For example, about us, you can see here. You have the about us, you know, you have the contact us, you know. I created terms for all these, you know, and that they appears in the navigation as it is. So what is the benefit here? When you go here, the benefit here is that your pages can live anywhere, and you just have to tag them in a correct way. So you just tag them in a correct way, and then they will appear right away in the navigation. So for example here, if I go here to the site collection, this is, I wonder if this is the correct one. No, I think this is the one. Yeah, if you see here, there are two more options that are visible now. One is the navigation, the other one is the term-driven pages. If I could scroll it a bit here, you can see here, in the navigation here, you can define the title, you can define the visibility in the menus. Your term can point to the single page URL. You can define a static URL here, you know, if you want to. But right now, I have connected this term-driven page with a friendly URL. What is a term-driven page? I can show you. If this is an option for term-driven pages are the ones that are generated automatically by SharePoint. So you just have to tag your page and connect it with a term, and the page will be generated automatically. For example, here, I created a page called Topic. It's a page layout that is Topic. So I connected this with this term. And you can see here the change target page for this term. You can change it if you want to, and you can target the pages for the children, and you know, all this stuff. So if I go here, for example, in this one, research page, so this page is connected to a topic page. That is a journal layout that I created. If you want to edit this now, you can edit it. By editing here means that if you edit the template, that will affect all the templates. But you can have individual page out of this template. For example, if you say edit page for the single URL, that means only this page is going to be changed. For example, I say research content. I check in the page here. So now this is a personalized page URL here. You can see here. logistics. This is an individual logistics page, and you can see the URLs here in the navigation. This is the site collection URL address here. Contact us, logistics, and all stuff. So you can use reuse navigation. So that's about managed navigation. So what are the benefits here? We can discuss quickly the benefits here. The benefits are actually SE improvements. You get the clean URLs here. You get the clean URLs. You can have automatically generate XML sitemaps just to improve the search indexes. But I'm not going to go into that. I will just go into the quickly to the next topic. But just before that, you can easily reorganize your pages. Like, if you organize your contents, you just have to change that page's tag. For example, if you tag a page with about us, you can always change that. When you change the tag, if you say, for example, I want to tag with the customer support, then the page will be changed in the navigation, and it will come under the customer support. And I will little bit talk about the programmability, the APIs that are being used for managed navigation. So this is the .NET Server, SharePoint 2010 has been introduced in 2010 version. So these are the new ones: .NET Client API, Microsoft SharePoint.client.taxonomy, and then this is one of my favorites here, taxonomy via manipulation of taxonomy via CSOM and REST. So that is a really cool stuff. I can show you one demo about that. This is a project that I've created. This is a sample project that will help you to drive navigation with the jQuery and the taxonomy API for JavaScript. You can see here. So I created a simple visual web part, and in the web part, ASPX, I added simple function here. You can see here that it is looking for this button taxonomy.click. For example, I can show you a design for this. Actually, what it does is it's a button that gets the navigation taxonomies. And this is a button that creates the navigation, the navigation taxonomies for you. So here, the code looks like here. You got the source code here. It creates a session here, and it gets all the term set and loads. So I can quickly add it here, for example, in this page, this web part, added page. I think I cannot add it here, I think. I deployed to a different site collection. So add it here. There you go. So there you go, super fast. So that's the taxonomy API for you, CSOM. So it's very easy, and you can also create the terms here. For example, if you say like sales, purchase, or media and responsibility, whatever. Okay, it's created. Let's refresh the page, and it will be added here. Did it get added? Yeah, there you go. So, isn't it cool? I would go to the next demo here. I've got some minutes left, but I will go through. I will talk about little bit about limitations. There are no versioning on your term sets. You cannot attach workflows to your terms as well. So these are one of the drawbacks, one of a couple of drawbacks that we have here. And the content type syndication, I would like to talk a little bit about that as well. So content type syndication has been introduced in 2010. The purpose of this was to distribute your content types and manage metadata fields. So how it works is a part of managed metadata service. You can reuse your content type across site collections. So designate you have one root site collection that you define as a hub, and then you define the content type, and then the timer job will sync all these content types across all the site collections. So just quickly through the demo here. Here you go. If I go to this document site that I have, I will quickly create a new content type here. Sorry. I have to hurry. So let's say test Ukraine. Let's say like this. It comes under no. It should be inherited from the document content type. And okay, I add it here, and I attach the manage metadata column that we created actually. It's called document category. That is a manage metadata column. So I added this manage metadata column to this custom content type, and then I say, so right now this site collection is a hub. So that means it's a base site from where you distribute content types and manage metadata terms across all your SharePoint form. So I say manage publishing for this content type. I will publish this content type, publish it right away. Say OK, so it gets published, and then I go here, the job definitions. So you see here, this is the content type hub, so that will publish it. I will go on, I will say just publish it now, just run now. This is a job that runs and syncs all the content types, and these are the subscribers here. I have 3 web application, my site, portal home, and all this stuff. So it will subscribe now. For example, if I go in one of the other site collections, sorry. Manage applications. For example, so the content type hub will distribute this site collection, this content type. Sorry. Wake up. Okay. It will take a little while. But the point I want to make is actually we want to distribute the content types, and we want to if we want to use content type hub, and for this distribution we can do that. We can distribute the content types and manage metadata across all the site collections. I can run some other one, maybe. We can check in this one actually if the changes have been propagated here in other site collection. It's not
custom.
It's no, I think it was, what was the name of the, yeah. Did we run the timer job for this one?
For the synchronization, just for the hub.
We did for the hub,
Yeah.
not for the subscriber.
No.
But it's running after every 1 minute, I think. Okay, let's run it. Monitoring. There you go. Here, if I go here now and check the content types, there you go. Test Ukraine for you. So it's distributed across. Yeah, I've got 1 minute left here. So yeah, I will just try to summarize. Not now. There was a demo for you. And the next thing was actually, I wanted to also talk about a little bit cross-site publishing. I will give you a little bit overview about that. So Christian already told about a little bit about that. You have the catalog lists actually. You can use catalog list in a site collection, and use it as a navigation for some other site collection. For example, if you have a site collection and you have in the site collection you have a list and you define the managed metadata on that, and if you catalog enable that list, then you can use all the managed metadata in the site collection that it is connecting to. So you can use enable content to be published across site collections. You can tag terms that are used in the catalog. Managed metadata is navigation is enabled by default. I can show you quickly about it. Just a little one, little demo, I think. There you go. So, for example, here it's an authoring product catalog site, and within that one I have a list here, and this list has a managed metadata column here. That is called item category. So you have different categories here: Apple, Samsung, camcorders, digital cameras, photo cameras, all whatsoever. So that is another. That's a publishing site. You can see here. So that is connected here. This catalog is connected to another site collection. So this is the content search web part you can see here. And you can go here, you can change or manipulate their settings if you want to. For example, here, navigation. You can define the intended use. You can also use this for tagging and all this stuff, custom properties, and also the same concept, the term-driven pages. So you can do that. And so here's a little bit about architecture. Just to sum it up now. But before that, I would like to give you a little bit about limitations. What are the limitations? No info path integration still, so no low-level security like granular level security. You cannot have that. A little bit about the summary and best practices. When you define the managed metadata for your SharePoint collaboration site, always engage business users and information workers. And use managed metadata fields for tagging of content. Always tag your documents list and all your content in a SharePoint portal. Deploy managed metadata centrally across multiple site collection. You can use the content type hub and use synonyms as much as possible. Try to, for example, Apple is one term, and you define Apple INC. It's another one. So you can use synonym to help the content editors or users to tag the content. Use content type hubs. I'll talk about plan the taxonomy management in the governance plan. SharePoint governance is important, so that's why you have to plan that governance in order to get the real value out of your portal. And use managed metadata drive search, navigation, and content reuse. So you can use managed metadata for different purposes, like for example the search. You can use search query, content search web parts, navigation, and the content reuse using the product catalogs. That's it. You have a question? Yeah.
How are you setting URL address if you use metadata in navigation?
Sorry?
How you set how setting URL address?
URL.
URL address for tab if you use metadata in navigation.
If you use managed metadata, you can set the URL. That is a special setting, in the tab. When you enable a site collection and you enable the managed navigation on that one, you have the option of setting the friendly URL on that. So you can change that if you want to. You can have a different one. You can change. You can customize it. So you have an option there in the term set tool.
Коллега, мы немножко с временем перебрали, тогда попрошу лаконично.
Okay, I have a couple questions. First question, can you show URL of REST endpoint for metadata? We didn't find it on lunch. We tried to find it, but didn't find it. URL?
URL, you mean?
For REST endpoint.
For REST endpoint?
Yes, yes.
Oh yeah. Well, you don't need that actually.
By the way,
Yes.
somebody needs this. Actually.
Yeah, sure. No, but here in this demo, well, that's it. You know, you have the web application. Your managed metadata service is connected to a certain web application, right? You can define this custom connections. You know, when you provision your managed metadata application, you have the default proxy, and within that proxy, you define which web applications are connected to this proxy. So you can use that proxy and that URL of your web application to.
I see. Second question, very short. Any improvements in provision of managed metadata fields?
Any improvements?
Any improvements? It's very prone, it's very hard. Developers can do this, actually.
Oh yeah, the improvements are actually, we have the tagging control as this, and the fields that we are using for the publishing pages, we can use the same field, the tagging field control actually.
But provisioning custom field is the same.
Yeah, it's almost the same. Yeah, there are no changes there.
Спасибо, Станислав.